So we're looking at PIPS Wizard Pro again, and as you know, it's a trend following system. And trend following, you can make a lot of money. But the fact is, you need to have a trend. And I just want to give you a little tip here, and this is the Aussie US daily chart. And the reason I'm using this chart specifically is because I'm actually looking for a play in the Aussie US chart. The spot market. This is the weekly chart, and you can see that we've come down here. I've had an alert set here for a little bit. Price has come down and it's tested. I got an alert today, and I'm just waiting to see what price action does around this, and see if I can get a trade set up here. But back to Pips Wizard Pro. Here's the point. If I just go back to this chart again, you can see in this chart we had a whole range, right? In through here, there's a big range, and it's hard to trade inside of this. You can see all the wicks, right? When you see wicks like this, a lot of people would get suckered in if they're playing breakout kind of trades, especially over in this area here. And, you know, this is a weekly chart. Who makes these wicks are the bigger money players. So we had a bit of congestion in here. And if you're trying to take trades in through here, it got really messy. And not only with your capital, but also your mental capital as well. So you clearly want to be in a trend. So this is the daily chart. And you can see in this side here, we got shorts, longs, whipping back and forth, and that is tough to trade. And you don't want to trade that. If you're a daily player, you'll get beat up here, especially if you're just using the basic the way it's traded, the 200 pips of profit, stop, and 400 profit. You get killed. So you want to make sure you have a trend. So one of the best ways to do it, and this goes back to Alexander Elder, as he talks about a triple screen. We're going to keep it simple. Let's just use a dual screen. So this is a daily chart. Let's pop to the weekly chart. And this is a simple 55 period moving average. It doesn't matter what you want to use for a moving average, right? Long or short. Use too short, you're going to get whipped up. You use too long of one, you'll never get any trades. So 55 is a happy medium. It doesn't matter. I've used 34, 55. It doesn't really matter what you use. Just be consistent. And what we can see here on this chart, for example, is we have a nice thrusting move up, okay? And inside of that thrusting move, on the lower time frames, you're going to get some nice trades. So what I'd wait for is for price to break above, close above strong, which it did here. And then from this point on the daily chart, I would look for long trades only. And then we come in through here, strong and break below and a close, we're going to look for shorts. And you'll see how that will make everything much clearer for you. And let's just take a look here. Let's drop down to the daily chart, and we're just going to scroll here. Hope it's not bugging your eyes too much. Okay. So in through here, you want to take long trades. Now remember when that weekly candle closes, all right? If you go back over to here, in this weekly candle here, you got this big strong thrusting up here, and maybe on this one you'll start looking to take your trades, because this is definitely showing us change of character in this price movement, right? That's what you want to look for as well, these big thrusting candles, even if you're not using a moving average. Just simple price action. We got a low, a lower high, higher low. This takes out, we're going to put in higher highs. So even if you were just trading the price action alone, without even using an EMA, I'm just using that because a lot of people like things simple. But as soon as price clears this line, we can start looking for trades. Long on the smaller time frame. Drop down to the daily again. Now, I'm not a big fan of these kind of indicators. They're lagging. You can use them, but don't use them as your as the reason for getting into a trade. So you can see we have some nice long trades setting up here. This goes on for 371, total of 530-ish. You get in through here, you've got 141. That's not a big trade at all. You have some trades in here, but again, you're not just going to trade these blindly. If you look at this candle here, this is a long setup above our EMA on the daily time frame. We're putting in higher highs and higher lows, but look at the candle, right? You just don't want to take trades blind. And this is what happens with these kind of systems. A lot of traders will see this, boom, take a trade. Well, that's not how you trade in any sort of system. So let's go back to our weekly chart, and you can see that we put in our high here, we put a low. Where's your low here? It depends what you're looking at, right? This is where it gets kind of subjective. When we see this meandering price action, a big thrust move out, price pulls back into here, right? I like to use these. When you get these are like breakout trades. They're actually really good to take. When you get these strong moves out, strong close out above that, these are good trades. But that takes a lot of screen time to really hone in on that. So you want to just look and make sure that we are in a trend. And you don't need an EMA to show you that. You can see here, this is obviously a corrective move on this decline, right? So perhaps in through here, you've decided, and it's going to be depending on your testing, of course, you've decided that once we come down into here, we start moving up again, we're going to take long trades again. And that's going to be, which line was that? Let's double check. This line here, right? So our last line that I put in. And here you go. Long trade. Actually, this is actually kind of cool because this turns on this red line on our weekly chart and sets up a nice daily trade from here. The upside is 473 pips. I got another long trade here. This is smaller. Obviously, getting them right at the turns are usually the best way to go. And you would have sat through this trade here. We come back down. We get a long trade set up here. Trading right up in here. You got 85 pips. So you got to be careful about structure as well. Because we don't know that we're going to be getting into this type of price action. You don't know, right? So you want to have some sort of way to keep you out of those moves. And that is just understanding some price action, understanding that you are in an actual trend. So we get up here, put a high, low. Look what's going on in here. We're not going anywhere, right? Once we can't take out this high and we're not coming down here, this whole area is a range. And then you can start to see where it gets really tight in through here. Swing. Now it's in through here, right? So you say to yourself, okay, our price action is showing us there's nothing going on. So what do? Look at this candle here, this breakout candle here. So let's just put our line here. Another line on this breakout candle here. Let's get rid of these so we don't confuse ourselves. Now you can see up here, it's daily, 4-hour, hourly, 30 and 50-minute chart, 15-minute charts. That's what they want you to trade this on. That's a nice little trade plan. So what do we have here? Short trade here. Now this is actually not too bad because this short sets up at this close. This close doesn't really get taken out until over here. So you have time to get on this trade, and this trade pops down for 380 pips. Now we're just getting close to the holidays, the Christmas, when the market's going to dry up. So maybe you bail, or maybe you've taken the other portion, the other way of taking profits, and you've seen this is a pretty big swing low here, and you're taking out your profits on here, and it's still, you know, that's a trade of 370 odd pips just before Christmas. If you're trading one standard lot, just keeping it at $10 a pip, it's $3,700. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. So this is a quick little overview that no matter what system you're using, don't just trade it blindly. Pip Wizards Pro is going to, it actually tells you, ensure that you're in a trend. Go up to the next higher time frame, right? If you look at Elder's thing, 3 to 5 times higher. So, you know, 4 hour, go to the daily, on the hourly chart, look at the 4-hour chart. Just make sure you're in a trend on the higher time frames, okay? And even if you, in a higher time frame, you're in a obvious range, you can actually get some nice trends inside of those ranges on the lower time frames. That's an advanced trading concept. But you know what? Click below, pick up Pips Wizard Pro, start going through it. Send me some questions with your ClickBank number so I know you actually bought it through my link. And we can talk more about these kind of setups, how to filter these trades out so you don't get ripped apart in this kind of price action. And it doesn't matter what trading system you're looking at here, you'd get killed. This is not conducive to price. A nice, easy price action. There's a reason I trade higher time frames, and you can see the difference as why I look at higher time frames. And actually, before I go, I just want to point out that there's another thing I'm going to cover in the next video of how you could just use this trading system to determine your own trend. And we'll cover that later. But like I said, click below, pick yourself up a copy, put on your MetaTrader, and start working away with it. Have a great holiday.